felt like reality isn't real?
Have you ever felt like you were still in a dream?
Well, stay tuned to hear a woman who believes that life is just a game. Welcome back to Specs. I'm India, and this week's book review is on Miss Sonia Barrett's The Holographic Canvas, The Fusing of Mind and Matter. Miss Sonia Barrett is a holistic consultant, an author, and a publisher. She did begin writing this book in 1998. It's also been rumored that she actually submitted her script to Hollywood for her book, The Holographic Canvas, or the concepts from it, at least, to be a movie. Turns out that the creators of The Matrix actually stole all of the concept from this exact book. I haven't been able to find anything online to help me support what I'm saying, so that's why I'm going to call it a rumor or conspiracy, but I've heard it multiple times, so I know there has to be some truth there, because there's multiple people that feel like they remembered the time that it happened or something, and somehow that she took a settlement or she won her case, which actually proved that they did steal her concepts from her book to make the movie The Matrix. Either way, I think it's going to help you be able to understand what I'm going to say in this book review today. The purpose for the holographic canvas from Miss Sonia Barrett was for us to explore who and what we are. Sonia's theory was that all humans have the mental capacity to reach unlimited existence. In her words, we all come from one source of consciousness. It is called the One, or the Source. She uses it interchangeably throughout the whole book, and that we are all here and nowhere at the same time. She believes that this world that we're living in right now is just a virtual reality, a matrix within a matrix within a matrix, etc., etc., etc. Living life through our mind, through our consciousness. I'll explain. This was definitely not an easy read at all. A lot of her concepts, it took me a while to be able to grasp it, but I do like the way that she wrote the book. The way that she wrote the book, she was repetitive of her themes within the book, but I felt like the repetitiveness was definitely necessary, because that was the only way that I was going to be able to wrap my head around a lot of the concepts that she threw my way. There were a lot of like, okay, I understand. I think I could see how you put that together. And then there were also some that I'm like, I'm just lost. I don't know. So to help with some of the themes, I guess I'll give you a little bit of a few basics. For the Earth, she believes Earth is a lower frequency realm, and that it is trapped with the world's electromagnetic field. And that humans are a transmitting and receiving device. She believes that we do not see with our eyes, we see with our mind. Another thing she believes is that the DNA that we know today, the way that we see it as a double helix, is basically a symbol. That the double helix serves as a symbol for duality, as a dichotomy, as in good versus evil, any of the concepts that make us look at anything black and white. So within this game that we're living, within this reality, there are different systems that come into play, and that each thing that we kind of all collectively believe in is embedded in our DNA. So the schools, the corporations, the buildings, religion, anything that sets a standard for what we believe life to be, however we see society as, and whatever society means, is all systems in the program meant to control us at a limited way of thinking. She had a very interesting concept about time. So with time, she is saying that it's man-made, came up with to perpetuate this illusion of ideas of limits. She believes that time is past, present, and future all at the same time. But the only thing that we definitely have is the now. And if we are in the now, then that means that we have been return back into the game. So she does reinforce reincarnation. Also, that time is based on perception. Because time is perception based and just relative, that we go through different reality shifts. So like I said, there's a matrix within a matrix. So with us, there are different parallel universes playing out all the possible probabilities of this game. She gave an example of moments where you can tell that you've been in a time shift. Have you ever lost anything? Like, you ever just put something down for just 1 second and then all of a sudden you can't find it? Maybe minutes have passed or hours have passed. You just can't seem to find what you were looking for. But then all of a sudden, when you're not even thinking about it, and you go right back to where you had searched from the beginning, and it's literally right there where you left it. She claims that that is an example of reality shifts. She claims that it is an example of time travel as well. So she does believe that if you do decide to choose a pattern or make a decision that you've never done before, that it would literally shift you into another parallel. So basically saying that you're jumping into the different probabilities that you'll be in every single time that you make a decision. And please forgive me if I'm not explaining this in a way that you'll be able to get, because it is, like I said, a very hard read. So some of these concepts you are going to have to read over and over again. So I really definitely recommend reading this book, because if it doesn't make you a believer, at least you'll have something to refer to help you question anything. It opens your imagination. Like, she brings up the New Age movement and how a lot of people are giving away their power to leaders and gurus and psychics or channelers or anything like that to try to understand this game. But the only thing you need on this earth is yourself. You have to go within yourself to connect with the source, and that it all plays and ties into this illusion that we are lacking something. So I know that was a lot. That was definitely a mouthful. Did I get anybody to start scratching their head a little bit like I was? Lord, I was so stressed out reading this book. But please, let me know, comment below if you ever feel like you've ever had a time shift or a reality shift, as I brought up earlier. It could be in a form of deja vu, or it could be in the same kind of form of you literally play something down, left, tried to check it, couldn't find it, been looking for a while, then all of a sudden pops up and is in the exact spot that you thought it was in. I want to hear some of your stories. Obviously, this is just a book review, so take it how you want to. I'm not saying to believe it, but I do think that it's a great read to at least get a different perception of what this life on earth actually might be. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share to everyone, and please join me again for another book review next. So thank you for listening to me about Miss Sonia Barrett's book, The Holographic Canvas.